everyone! In this Rihanna-inspired tutorial, I'm going to show you how to prep your skin for perfect makeup application, how to make your brows look lighter without using bleach, and also my favorite way to get matte red lips that last and last. Okay, so let's get started. The first step to great makeup application is really smooth, well-hydrated skin. In this month's Ipsy Glam Bag, I got this Derma E Microdermabrasion Scrub, and I'm almost out of it. I've used so much of it, but I used this before filming just to remove any dead skin, and then I moisturized with the Purelle's Pure Moist Moisturizer. Also, you don't want to neglect your body, especially during the warmer months where you'll be showing more skin. I really like this inexpensive Freeman Barefoot Exfoliating Polish. It's for the body, it's not for feet or anything. But anyway, I don't need a lot of coverage today, so I'm just dotting on my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer on my face and blending it in with a damp beauty blender sponge. When you're using a beauty blender or any makeup sponge, just make sure it's damp so that way it doesn't absorb too much product. And to use it, you just pounce it over the skin and it basically does all of the blending for you. Oh, I almost forgot to hydrate my lips. I'm putting on some lip balm, just letting that soak in while I finish up the rest of my makeup. Here I'm taking a foundation that's a few shades darker than my skin tone, and I'm buffing that around the outer parts of my face. This is going to add some warmth and add some dimension to the skin as well. I'm using this airbrush foundation brush by Sephora. It looks like a blush brush and you use it to apply foundation. I really like it for that because it really diffuses the product into the skin. Let's make sure that whatever little bit is left over on the brush, to use that to blend down onto your neck and even your chest a little if it's exposed, just to make sure that everything looks uniform. Now for the brows. I noticed that Rihanna's were very light and didn't have a very dramatic arch to them, which is nice when you're wearing a bold red lip to just keep everything else looking as sweet and soft as possible. So I started by filling in my brows with this blonde dip brow pomade. It's by Anastasia and it's waterproof, which is great for summer. With an angled eyeliner brush or brow brush, I started by sketching in and filling in any sparse areas in my brows, mostly towards the tail for me, and I just tried to keep it looking kind of straight, not too much of a dramatic arch. And then whatever little is left over, I'll apply towards the inner corners where you don't want as much color there. And then using a clean brow spoolie to blend and soften any harsh lines will just help to keep things looking a little bit more natural. And speaking of looking a little bit more natural, using a tinted brow gel will help your natural brow hairs blend in better with the product you use to fill in your brows. Now moving on to the eyes, I'm going to start by laying down a primer to prevent any creasing, and then with a fluffy brush, I'm blending on a shadow that's close to my skin tone all over my lids. This is going to create a nice base to make blending other colors on top of much easier. They won't stick to any parts of the lid or anything like that. And then with the same fluffy brush, I'm working this warm brown taupey shade onto the lids from the lash line up into the crease. A fluffy brush is going to give you a nice buildable wash of color, but it'll do all of the work of blending for you. So I really like that it's quicker, it's easier. And then whatever little bit is left over on the brush, I'm swiping along the lower lash line. And then I'm picking up this darker brown that has a bit of a red undertone. Honestly, any dark brown will work just fine. And I'm working that into the crease starting from the outer corner and blending inwards. For the inner corners, I'm using this flesh tone pencil around the tear ducts, and I'm just using, since it's a cream product, I'm just using my finger to tap over it to blend it in a smidge. It's just going to give a really nice, natural looking highlight. You can even use a matte, nude, beige, flesh tone kind of eyeshadow here instead. And then I'm lining the inner rims of my eyes with a bronzy brown eyeliner. And then I'm patting a little bit of that lighter shade that we use as a base onto the centers of the lids just to brighten them a touch. And then for mascara, go for something that lengthens and gives a really clean lash look. Usually ones that have a sort of rubbery applicator kind of like this do a really good job at preventing clumpiness. I personally like a little bit of clump to my mascara to give it a thicker, more voluminous effect, but for this look, clean is the way to go. And then whatever's left over on the wand, you can just dab onto your lower lashes. But I know this is totally optional, but I'm a lash fanatic and I couldn't help myself. I added these accent lashes to the outer corners of my lash line, and since we're not wearing any liner that can hide any imperfection in the application of the lashes, you really want to make sure that you get these as close to your natural lashes as possible. I recommend using a clear lash glue and also a pair of lashes with a clear lash band, unlike this one, but this turned out okay, luckily. See how doing this subtly lengthened and slenderized the look of the eyes, made them look a little bit more narrow? I really like that. Then touching up underneath the eyes with some concealer and my damp beauty blender sponge. This one has a little bit of a yellow base to it, which is going to help to cancel out any purple that's going on underneath the eyes. Not that my dark circles are all that bad in this video, you've seen them worse. And now that we're done with the liquids and cream products, I'm going to go ahead and set with a translucent powder. And I'm going to skip blush and go for some bronzer instead. You guys may have gotten a small little baby version of this Too Faced chocolate bronzer. I actually have the full size in milk chocolate, so that's what I'm going to be using. We're going to be doing a red lip, which sometimes confuses people about what blush to wear, and I say when in doubt, just stick with bronzer, it goes with everything. And yes, I'm smelling it because it smells like chocolate. To finish everything off, I'm dabbing my beauty blender over the skin just to make sure that everything is blended well. Blending is honestly one of the most important things about makeup application, so you want to take the most time to just make sure everything looks seamless. Now for the lips. Dab off any excess lip balm and grab your favorite red lipstick. I love this one by Lime Crime. It's actually kind of like a liquid lipstick. It's called their Velveteens, and I love it because it dries down to a matte, long-lasting finish, and it's not drying either like other products with similar ideas can be. Red lips can be unforgiving though, so take your time and make sure that you get those inner corners that we usually don't even have to think about when we're wearing lighter colors. When the applicator has hardly any product left over on it, I use that to just carefully tidy up the edges. If you make any mistakes, concealer or a cotton swab with makeup remover can go a really long way. And that's the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial and found the tips that I shared with you helpful. If you want to know what products I use, you can visit my blog at blog.jessicaharlow.com, link in the description. As always, I look forward to talking to you again very, very soon. Bye!